Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Brother Kelly Hughes, Chaplain of the Arts. We are podcasting from the beautiful Valiant Theatre here in downtown Winnipeg's Greasy Tenderloin. Thank you so much for joining us for Kelly Hughes Live Shorts, Fringe 2025. Thanks for joining us on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. Other services are available. We are also on 101.5 UMFM. So if you're hearing us there, then that's great. Or YouTube is terrific too. I am here with my guests. My guests are Geoff Hughes and Heather Forgie. You can say hi.
Hello.
Wave.
No relation, unfortunately, brother Kelly.
I had a funny
Geoff Hughes.
I had a funny thing. This guy messaged me. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" He added me as a friend. He's like, "Great to see you. We were in theater together." I'm like, "Oh, okay," because I went to theater at U of W, and he's giving me all these details, and he's like, "No," and he's like, "I remember you were in that show," and I'm like, "No, I didn't do any of that." And then he goes, "Oh, that was Geoff Hughes." And I only remember this because I I won't say who the guy is because I don't remember who the guy is, but this guy posted like a transphobic thing. And so usually what I do when somebody does that is I go into my messages to see if they're a person I actually know, if they're a person I've talked to, and if they're a person that I can say, "Hey, what's up with that?" And we'd had this dumb conversation, so I just unfriended him. I said, any friend of Geoff Hughes is no friend of mine. That's what I said. You get it.
Oh, yeesh. First 3 minutes and
You haven't said anything yet, Geoff.
Who has a Geoff Hughes story? Lots of Geoff Hughes stories?
well, there is an artist from the UK, this Welsh guy who was a glam rocker, and there was in the library my spelling, because now the thing is that I'm a Geoff,
Yes.
which makes it particularly unusual. And so there was this. We didn't have CDs when when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So, but there was the audio cassette tape. And I don't really remember records at the library. They might have had them, but I do remember the display case.
Yeah.
Geoff Hughes and this real pale face, black and white, and this strange looking guy. And all my friends were, "Look, Geoff Hughes," because the spelling is so unusual. And then I Googled it, and there's a song called "Happy Birthday Kid," and it turns out he was an interesting character. And so I'll let people look into him themselves. But that was my Geoff Hughes story.
When because we all Google ourselves, right?
Sure.
I mean, when I first started Googling myself, I found that the number one Kelly Hughes was a guy who had something called the Kelly Hughes Band, who's still around, and it's like some country band, which is sort of terrible. Are there any other Heather Forgies in the world?
There is. And it's totally weird too because she's also an actress, but she's like way more successful than I am. And she's in Toronto. And I found this out totally by accident. I had a student, actually, because I teach middle school, come up to me. They had Googled me and come up to me and go, is this you? And I looked at it and I'm like, no, I wish it was, but no.
So is she like the multiverse Heather Forgie? Like the Terran?
I don't know. I couldn't find any images. I just saw like the description of a couple of shows that she was in. So
Maybe it is you. Maybe it is some kind of a Christmas Carol type situation.
maybe I have a secret life that even I don't know about. That could be.
Yeah. There's a Geoff Hughes with red curly hair, British actor who, if you Google, that's who you'll get.
Yeah.
I just remember the obscure music artist. But
Well, this Geoff Hughes and this Heather Forgie are doing fringe shows. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Heather, would you like to go first?
Sure. I am doing a Greek comedy by Aristophanes called Lysistrata. The original is like 3.5 hours long, so we've cut it down really quite a lot. It's
I'm listening. Keep going.
It's about an hour
I
long.
screwed something up.
And it's a comedy about the women of ancient Greece being fed up with all of the men dying in war, and so they've decided that they are going to stage a sex strike until the men quit fighting.
Nice. Well, sex strikes are always they're always good.
Yeah.
What number? You've done a lot of Fringe shows. What number is this for you?
I don't even know.
You can't even count
No,
that high.
well, because I've done some with my own company, and then I've done some kids shows, and then I did a couple with other companies. I would have to.
What year? Do you remember what year you started?
Roman numerals will have to be, I think.
My first Fringe show was, I want to say 2012.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, it was 2012.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, yeah.
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 How many shows have you done, Geoff?
Well, I also can't count that
This
high.
little thing is supposed to. There we go.
That's right.
You get your little hat there. So you can't count that high.
No, I run out of digits and things to count. But perhaps I can tell you that I was at the first Fringe Festival, or I'd like to call it the Stephen Eric McIntyre Festival, because he was in 5 shows, and I looked up to him a lot because I was watching improv, and I liked Possible Nudie, and you know, I was so back in the day, there was 3 Dead Trolls in a Baggie. It was like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
There was a venue called The Cauldron because it got so hot in there. I don't remember where it was, but a little research and we could check out the original Fringe program.
If we had an intern here, we could be like, yeah, we'll just look that up while we talk.
So I was at 15 and I loved SCTV. I loved Saturday Night Live. I was a theater kid, so I was all over the first Fringe watching it.
Was it like 84 or 88 or when was that?
87.
87.
Yeah, but I've even actually had this conversation where people were like, they found 2 different numbers on the internet.
Oh.
So it's already like a controversy.
That is amazing because the internet is usually right.
Well, it's right both times.
Ask AI, see what it tells you. Well, you mentioned Steve, and that's so sad about
Tragic.
Steve because I mean he was
so nice to me when I was like
Yeah.
12. He had always had time for me.
yeah, no, he was. I always found him to be just a great,
Yeah,
lovely person.
yeah, we'll miss him.
Yeah. Anyway, your show.
My show is a one-person storytelling show. It is a tribute to a retro 80s wrestler, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and I am a romantic at heart. And there is a romantic story at the heart of this show. He was married to his counterpart, Miss Elizabeth, was his manager and his wife. And they had this really sweet on-again, off-again relationship in the ring that was played out over 5 years, and I was just a sucker for it. Like, when I watched it back in the day, I was right in there like soap opera. It moved me, broke my heart. I loved it. I was a Macho Man fan, and I still am. And so I also enjoy doing an impression of Macho Man. And so I have a costume, and I'll be basically doing something like an impersonator shtick. I'll be dressing as the Macho Man and doing the whole show if my voice can last for 45 minutes. That's going to be tough, but
See how that goes.
yeah. And I'll also be talking about me being a wrestling fan. I met Randy Savage in real life. I met Hulk Hogan in real life. And so it will be stories from my life and this romantic story of Randy. So the show is called Randy and Elizabeth, A Savage Love Story.
So your show is basically like Heather's, basically the same thing.
Yeah, sex strike.
Yeah, sex.
No more war.
Yeah.
Elizabeth said, "Stop fighting."
So you've now I mean you do like, so you've got your card here, and I mean this is pretty good.
Thank you.
How long have you been growing your hair out for the?
52 years.
Oh, okay. So this was not for this. This was not for the.
Well, actually, I think what it was with the hair was like I was kind of lucky, and I had a nice gig for a while in a respectable theater. Celebrations, highest end of, anyway, I used to have a job there, and I never got a job as a shaggy hippie, so I always had short hair and had to cut my beard for every role I ever had there, which I was happy to do. I was so lucky to be employed, singing and dancing full time, and I was very, very grateful for those opportunities. But once my career was done there, I just let it grow, because I'm at heart, I am a shaggy hippie.
Yeah, it's still around, but it has a different name, isn't that? Is that
Oh,
right?
yes. They have, there is dinner theater in the city, and they've changed their name. There are many of the same players involved. They're at the Pembina Highway location. I have a lot of good memories there. A lot of people came and went through those doors. They shut down. It's a bit controversial because there was a union, and the union went on strike, and that was the end of Celebrations Dinner Theatre. However you may feel about those events, there's good and bad there. Literally hundreds of Winnipeggers had an opportunity to show their talent on the stage at Celebrations, and I was lucky to be one of them. And some other people went to big things, and I support unions in general. This is Winnipeg. This is 1919.
Yeah,
and
nobody's gonna say you're a union. Nobody's saying you're a union buster, Geoff.
No. Anyway, so there is dinner theater to be viewed in Winnipeg if you want to.
I was driving up by like where Notre Dame and Dublin meet, and there were these people that were obviously striking, and I guess it was DHL, which is like a delivery company or whatever.
Right.
And there was big signs that said, big angry signs on the side of the road that said, "Honk if you hate DHL scabs." And I felt like I would have honked to support the union guys, but I felt like that was a bit of a commitment. Like I didn't really know that I hated, you know what I mean? I didn't have those kind of strong feelings about the DHL scabs, and actually really had no idea, what was going on. So I felt like if it had been a smaller ask, I probably would have done it.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was kind of, they went right
Honk.
to
Well,
the,
I mean,
because you got to go for the negative, right? And then it feels yucky if you're like, honk to support our union, then you'd be like, yeah, good for you guys, right?
well said.
Yeah.
Honk if you hate.
Right?
That was a bit,
Yeah.
And I actually find it like super weird to, you see people like with signs and stuff, and they're picketing and they're doing whatever, and like, I never honk because it's by the time I figure out what it is, I've kind of gone by, and like sometimes it's like, free Palestine. Hey, sure, yeah, I get behind that. And sometimes it's like crazy. The people that are left over from like the COVID stuff, and they're like picketing in front of CBC or whatever. Those people that kind of just never. I don't know what they're picketing about now, but you know what I mean. You probably see them. You're always walking. You probably see people doing the things.
Well, I don't walk down Portage often anymore. Yeah.
You walk down your route. You walk to school every day.
I do.
How long does it take you?
It's okay. So without ice, like in these conditions,
Perfect conditions.
it's
2 weeks of the year.
45 to 50 minutes to walk.
Good for you.
In the wintertime, it's almost exactly an hour.
How long would it take Geoff, do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think it would take you 45 to 50 minutes, or longer, or shorter?
How difficult is the terrain?
It's suburb all the way.
Suburb?
It's
that's
Winnipeg.
3 hours. 3 hours. I mean, look at that nice house I'll never live in. Oh, look at that yard. I do love to walk. I love walking.
He loves to walk. We love to walk. I'm just going to pause here for a sec to say that if you are watching on one of the truncated things like TikTok or Instagram, this interview is going to continue. So thank you very much for watching, and you can tune into the rest of it if you think that we were sufficiently interesting. Go to our YouTube page, which is something dumb like The Valiant Theater 1761. I think that's what it is. I should have checked before I got here. But anyway, thank you very much. And thanks for stopping by. Okay, for the rest of you who stayed for that artificial pause, thank you very much. It's like, do you ever listen to like certain like podcasts, but you listen to them somewhere else and they say, we're going to come back after this message, but there's no message because you're listening to it like, you know what I'm talking about? I always think that's funny. Why do you think, so, we're talking about, celebrations and whatever, not really talking about that, but why do you think Winnipeg is such a musical town? Why do we love musicals? We love musicals. Don't you agree that we love musicals?
I suppose that's
I'm
true.
indifferent towards musicals.
I'm not you, but I mean, you must have seen it.
know.
You must know that Winnipeggers love musicals.
Well, I know there are a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
Well, the lack of living in other cities would make it difficult for me to compare. But I've worked in Edmonton and Calgary in that with that same company,
Yeah.
and I didn't really know that Winnipeg had a inordinate reputation for loving musicals.
Well, like, so now MTC does a bunch of musicals again. And for a while, like for years, they were just doing straight plays, right? I stopped going to MTC the year that, whatever year they had, the first show was Grumpy Old Men the Musical. I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm done. Thank you. But there was no musicals for a long time. And then I think they do musicals. Don't they do like a few musicals a year, a couple musicals a year?
I think you're right.
And actually MTC, like even under John Hirsch, my mom did a show in like 1954 or something with John Hirsch, the boyfriend. She was the maid, and so I mean they were, back then it was not highbrow, right? It was they were doing, although the boyfriend was probably not that old then. It was probably like
I was in that in grade 10.
Yeah.
Life without us is impossible and devoid of all charm. No amount of idle gossip will keep them out of our arms.
I I played that. My mom is 95.
Oh,
And she's her mind is going. But I went. She's in the hospital right now, and I went the other day, and I played the boyfriend on my phone, and she remembered like some of it, because they always say with older people that
music really triggers.
yeah, it'll kind of sort of bring them back. But she did the Hollow Mug, which was the one that was kind of before all the.
There's a lineage to celebrations there.
Yeah, and she was pregnant with me while she did Hello Dolly. Which
Hello,
is
Kelly.
those
Say hello,
yeah.
Kelly.
Those are my bona fides.
Wow. Yeah, the Hollow Mug was in the International Inn before celebrations, and I did some of my time at the International Inn, and I had seen a production of Oliver at the Hollow Mug, and I still remember a song from the song, the guy sharpening his knife, right? But it was like such a cheap prop, and he's got this grindstone and a tinfoil coating. But I still remember, and like if I remember, I consider that personally a compliment to who, because I mean I've seen shows that I can't remember anything except for who was in it, because maybe the plot didn't do it for me or something. But
Heather, what's one of your early theater memories? Not necessarily something you were in, but like. What thing did you see that kind of made you go, hey, this is kind of the thing I want to do?
Actually, it was high school. So Talia Piro was my drama teacher in high school.
Oh, I
which is
loved her,
amazing.
yeah.
And she got me to sign up for what was then called the SOS program at MTC. So it was Students on Sponsorship. And basically, all applying schools got to send 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And we went and we got to watch all the plays on the main stage, and we do workshops with the actors or with the backstage people once a month. And there was like free lunch included and everything. And the first play that I went to see there was Picasso at the Le Pen Agile.
Oh,
and what I loved so much about that is that one actress played all of the women, and she had these amazing quick changes backstage. And it was a full thing, like new dress, new wig, new hat, everything. And she would come out as a different person. And you couldn't tell when watching it. You just had, when you read the programs, all the women were played by the same actress.
Yeah. My
cool.
my memory is so bad, but I do remember what I liked about that show was that it was 90 minutes with no intermission. I liked that it was kind of it did what it needed to do, and because sometimes like I don't know, sometimes at intermission, a big kind of a thing like that.
And wait in line forever for Haagen-Dazs and then go back to your seat.
Yeah, and then and I've even been like, what did I see there? I saw something there like, I don't know, Night of the Iguana or something that had like 2 intermissions, and it's just like I'm ADHD and I can't I can't be somewhere for 3 hours, you know. So that I liked that it was I liked that it clipped along. It was Steve Martin that wrote that, right?
Yeah.
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 Then you'll love the 45 minutes of Randy and Elizabeth, a savage love story. No intermissions.
Don't you wish you had your little card and you could do the thing that he was
Yeah. Well,
saying?
we don't have those yet. They are. We had to wait to find out about an availability issue. We almost had to change one of our dates,
Oh, okay.
but we got it fixed. It's all good.
And you were both at 188 Princess,
Yes.
which is just over here, just down the street from us here, and just right around the corner from Old Market Square. Now, is it? I remember I talked maybe last year to Mitch Cron, and we were talking about it because it's not like it's not. It is accessible, but it's a bit of a. You have to make arrangements, right?
Yeah. If you're requiring an elevator because the venue is upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's an old building. You look at the
Yeah.
stairs sometimes, you're like, oh, okay.
It's the Exchange District. It's a typical old warehouse.
What I think is so amazing about it is that from the outside, it looks like the building's falling apart, and then you step in, and the church itself is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely in there. But you do have to go up 2 flights of stairs to get there. If you are requiring an elevator, you can notify the company ahead of time, or you can call 188, and they make sure that there's somebody there with a key to let you in.
I wanted to mention that so that we could mention it because
Yeah.
as I get older and more crippled, I realize there's lots
Yeah.
of people that you know.
Well, and it's not just wheelchairs, right? Like there are people who that just maybe they can take 4 or 5 stairs, but
Yeah.
2 full flights is a lot.
Yeah. Well, even my mom, you know, she's 95, and my brother came by even a couple of years ago. He came by and she had to wait in the car because she couldn't, you know, she uses a walker and stuff, and I mean we could have got her up here, but then we would have had to get her back down. It's just not, you know.
Yeah.
And your when do your shows? Are your shows on like at a bunch of different times or the same time every night? Or he's going to show us his card again.
I was going for my glasses, get my reading glasses on. You got your glasses on.
Yes, I do. Okay, yes. Yeah, so
Thursday at 9 on SCTV.
Thursday at 9 is when you open. When is your first show?
It is also on Thursday. I'm just looking up the schedule.
You're making some muscles here on this, Geoff. Did you pump a few weights before you did that? Yeah, a few push-ups.
I also tipped my Photoshopper. It's mostly me.
You had Peter.
So
You had Peter
far
Nygaard's
back.
Photoshopper.
Oh God, man, you're going after me today. Oh, the nice character references. Peter Nygaard. Yeah.
Peter Nygaard. You think one day somebody will do Peter Nygaard a love story?
Oh, no, oh my God.
I hope not.
Woo. Well, expose the bastard. Where
when
is he? Is he in prison yet?
I think he's rotting in jail. Yeah, I
He
think
should
so.
be.
I have no idea.
When your show starts, or you don't know where Peter Nygaard is.
Yeah.
But you could probably. What would be easier and quicker to find out, where Peter Nygaard is, or when your first show is?
Well, because I'm entering the show title right now, probably the second one.
Do you know if you open on the Wednesday or the Thursday?
Definitely the Thursday.
Definitely the Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
And is it air conditioned over there?
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's nice because it might be hot.
See, you said air conditioning, and then I almost typed in fridge instead of fringe.
Hook 'em with Winnipeg Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
I did a little thing years ago at our old place, Aquabooks, in the middle of winter, and we called it Winnipeg Fridge Festival.
You did?
Yeah, and there was only like 3 or 4
I was just about to crack that joke. You actually
little
did it.
companies.
I
Yeah.
actually have my show times now.
Okay.
See, that was faster. Look at
Okay.
that. Okay. July 17th at 7 is our first one. 18th at 6:15. 20th at 5:30. So they're all like good, accessible times. Our latest curtain is on the 25th, and that's 7:45 p.m.
That's nice.
That's
Yeah.
the benefit of 188 is none of us had to go on at Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. See
'Cause
what
now-
happens
Or
is
11 p.m.
we all get along and we all talk to each other and make arrangements. And so Mitch, who you mentioned earlier, made the schedule for the whole venue to
Nice.
accommodate all of what we would like.
Yeah.
and it works for everyone. He sent us a draft and went, "Is this okay with you?" Okay, good. And the Fringe will allow you to do that as long as you don't have show conflicts.
Yeah.
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 It's working out pretty well.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got basically what I would call desirable slots.
Yeah.
Evenings or weekends.
And
Yeah.
it's nice to be right here. It's nice to be just around the corner from.
Oh, it's right in the heart
Everything.
of the Fringe.
Yeah. It's hard when you're like, well, you know, I mean, just when you're a little bit farther afield, you know, people like the theater at CCFM, but it's a bit, it's a bit of a destination, so it really depends
Yeah.
what you're doing. And I know that people that were in the lottery, I've heard lots of people that maybe would have had 8 or 9 shows in the past. A lot of them only have 7 this year.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
don't know. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's more companies or what that is. But I mean, that's money for some people.
That's tough.
You got a 60-seat venue. That's money in your pocket or out of your pocket.
Yeah. It also, if you have a lot of conflicts, like if you have a lot of people in your shows who are doing other shows as well, then they go, "We're going to be as accommodating as possible,"
Yeah.
but you might lose a performance because there's just nobody available when we have time for you.
There also isn't really any negotiating. Like, I'd like to say to the Fringe, 11 a.m. is a little early, you know, but it's kind of like, we're the parents and you're the kids.
But you know what? It's I mean, it's a lottery thing. Like, and I love the Fringe, but they don't care, right? Because I mean, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to fill your spot. I mean, you know what I mean? They don't care specifically. Like, it's just kind of a, it's a big sort of it's like the, who's that? Adam Locke. It's just like the invisible hand of the market. Whoever said that, you know what I mean? It's like the invisible hand of the Fringe.
Yeah, we can all like it or lump it.
It just does.
You don't want to show at 11 a.m., don't do our festival.
It just does what it does. And I know last year there was a bit of a thing when, I won't say who, but there were 2, you remember there were 2 performers last year who had a conflict? And they both got kicked out. It was near the end.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, and people had kind of wanted Fringe to kind of, I don't remember what they wanted them to do, but they sort of wanted them to do something. And, you know, that was just,
No, I didn't.
Lots of moving parts.
Yeah, there was an accusation that someone had violated the safe spaces agreement.
And oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just kind of, there was a thing where it kind of got a little much.
I haven't heard about it. Didn't know, and it sounds like bad news.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
both artists were kicked out. Like,
yeah, it was near. It was right. It was like the last couple of shows, but yeah, they were both
and so
kicked out.
2 companies or artists didn't actually get to take to the stage for scheduled performances because of this.
Yeah, and I mean it
That's
was.
fine.
They were both. I know they both felt bad about it after, and they were both sort of not. You know, nobody. It was not a thing that anybody was proud of or happy about, or you know what I mean. It was just kind of a thing that happened. But it sort of, to me, it kind of, to me, it illustrated that, like, you know, there's lots of folks like you who, you know, do their day jobs or whatever the heck you do, and and then you come, you know, you're doing your Fringe stuff. But there's all these people that tour around, and there's all these people that are kind of like this sort of loose kind of family, this group. I mean, these people that like have known each other for years and years, and even, I mean, you get to know the people that are in the cities that you go to, you know, and you get friendships with those people. I mean, there's, you know, lots of those people that I would say are my friends, even.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't see them all the time necessarily, because Penny Ashton, she needed something, and I messaged her and said, yeah, I can get you that. And I looked, and I hadn't talked to her in 8 years. Looked on Messenger. I mean, time is a flat circle. This is what happens as you age.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh, yeah, it's been 8 years. And, you know, because she's from New Zealand, I guess, and she hasn't been here for a while. But, I mean, so it's not always the same people, and some people have kind of, TJ Doss seems to be doing some different things in the last couple of years and whatever, but
It's interesting too, though. Like, I feel like just Fringe performers, especially, are really open to forming those kind of friendships right from the get-go. You know, like I traveled one time with a Fringe show, and I only went as far as Saskatoon. Like, I wasn't going across the country or anything. and I took the train with the other Fringe performers, and maybe our second night in Saskatoon, it was like, oh yeah, well, we're all going out. You're obviously coming with us. Like, it was just immediate, right?
But don't you think? I mean, lots of those people. I mean, lots of the theater people, to me, are like the weirdos. You know, the people that have been. You're not good enough to be in a band. But you know what I mean. Like you're the people, the oddballs. Like when I was in high school, I had lots of things going on, and I kind of didn't really hang out with a group. But every spring, I would pop up, and there I'd be. You know, in the heart of little old New York, you'll find a thoroughfare. It's the part of little old New York that runs into Times Square. And I'm up there, and people are like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Because I didn't see this guy all year. But it's like, so I feel like the theater people aren't the normies, and especially as you get older, and the people that are still doing it, and the people who, you know, whether it's an important part of your life, like you, and you're finding a way to pay your bills, or if you're like one of these people who's kind of more or less making a living at it. You know, when you get to be a certain age, you're not like you're most definitely not doing the same thing that other people your age are doing, like, you know, buying houses and having kids, and even my age having grandkids, and some people barely even live anywhere. Like he's more of a comedian, but he has been here for Fringe. Do you know Fedor Aguilar?
I believe I might have met him at the Jenny's last year.
Yeah, maybe? And he basically lives out of a box. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't exactly live anywhere.
Joe Walsh. I live in hotels, stare at the walls. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying that I mean that camaraderie is so important because everybody, you know, you kind of you count on the other people because you're all doing the same thing. You're all in the same boat, and I think that was one of the reasons that was such a big deal last year, was because you're supposed to be able to trust the other people, and that's what that's.
Well, but siblings fight dirty and then they make up, right?
I don't know. I never fought with my siblings. Did you fight with your siblings?
I don't have any.
Oh, so then you don't know.
I have children.
Oh yeah.
Do you fight with your kids?
No, they fight with each other.
I don't have any kids, but I have a sibling, and you know, I have to refrain from punching him frequently.
Oh. Even at your age.
Even our age.
Well, but he's a little bit much, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What are other people doing that you're excited about? Probably, I don't know if you've had time to get excited about what other people are doing yet, because you're, you know, still trying to get your
Oh
ducks
my
in a
God,
row.
my self-obsession exposed. What is going on this summer at the Fringe? I didn't even go last summer. I went the year before, and I saw the Barbarian Bombshells, and
Oh, yeah,
I saw some of my old pals, and what else did I? And so but I didn't go last year at all, and I you know, haven't done the Fringe since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was before COVID, right? And then
Yes,
and everything
that's
shut
correct.
down, right?
Yeah,
So
COVID.
yeah, and then like the previous 13 years, I was with D&D Improv.
Oh.
I had been with D&D Improv since the start,
Yeah.
and I stayed with them until COVID. And then with COVID, there was a whole reboot there, and
Okay.
so there's a a new version of D&D Improv that I'm not a part of, but I will be guesting with them this year for old time's sake.
Well, that's nice. No hard feelings.
No,
They didn't fire you.
No, 13 years is a long time, you know, and I was the old guy, and I got tired of being the old guy.
Heather, anything that you? I'm not asking you if you're tired of being the old guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at the program, and I'm not 100% sure what all is out there. Friends of mine are putting on a show called Cactus that I got to help out with the set design and stuff like that for it. And it was written by a friend of ours, Daniel Gilmore, who died last year, and we found this script among his stuff. And so they decided, my friend Steph decided that she was going to produce it. And I've been to a couple of rehearsals, and it's looking really good. So I definitely want to see that on the stage.
Tell us what you're doing again.
I'm doing Lysistrata by Aristophanes, ancient Greek comedy. And despite the fact that it is from ancient Greece, where everybody thinks everything is highbrow and intellectual, there is some political commentary in there, but it's mainly just a lot of dick jokes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that, and my next question was, why should people go? But you've just said dick jokes, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, my whole reason for wanting to put on that show is because there's sort of this intellectual snobbery around the Greeks, right? Like the founders of philosophy and democracy and everything else. But even the most brilliant of Greek philosophers still laughed at farts and penises. So I want people to see that.
Yeah, it's
You know?
it's universal.
The oldest recorded joke, I think, is Babylonian, and it says, "It's common knowledge that a young lady does not fart on her husband's lap."
Yeah, I actually recently read about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The oldest joke was a fart joke.
Yep.
Well, that's nice that the oldest joke wasn't like a racist joke or something. That's good.
Yeah. It's universal, right?
Yeah, a good old fart. We can all laugh at a good old fart. Gronk hunt antelope and then fart, and we all laugh.
Well, I did. When I was filming one of these with Adam Schwartz and Willow Rosenberg, I had these different chairs here. I had these old Park Theater chairs, and I had I had to fix them to the ground, and they were sitting over there, and I was over here, and I was over there testing the sound, and they sat down, and they both fell over backwards because I had not properly affixed it to the ground. But so then I took that clip and just stuck it on the internet, and it kind of, blew up a bit, because that's what it's like Homer Simpson with the, man gets football in the nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
People falling down. That's all we really want.
Yep.
Do you have a snake in the show this year?
I do not.
Because I love the snake story. Tell the
I
snake.
think I should just record it and then I can play it for you.
Tell the snake story again. Come on.
Okay. So
Geoff hasn't heard the
was,
snake story.
It was the first time I produced my own show, and we were at the warehouse, and the story was about Scheherazade from A Thousand and One Arabian Nights, and one of my actresses had a thing for exotic pets, and she had a whole bunch of snakes, and I thought it would actually be really cool if during the pre-show, if she was just on the stage playing with one of her snakes to kind of set the atmosphere and everything. And it was going along great because she had a little basket, and when the show started, she put the snake in the basket and then just closed the lid and it would go to sleep. It would stay that way for the whole show. It was fine. But then we showed up one day, and one of the ushers went directly to this actress and started yelling at her, saying, "You are not allowed to have that animal in this venue," and all this stuff. And I stepped in, and I felt I needed to protect her. This woman was a lot younger than me, and she looked very small and vulnerable. And so I went up to the usher and I said, "Hi, I'm the producer. You can talk to me about this if you have a problem." And
Yelling is never.
yeah, and she was very upset. And so I sent an email to Fringe just going "Is this true? Are we really not allowed to? Because I'm sure I've seen this before." And they said, "No, you can absolutely have it. Just make sure it's on the sign."
Oh.
So I went, "Okay." So we did that, and we were allowed to have it.
Wasn't she doing it but she was doing the, "Hey, you can't do that," right, kind of in the middle of your pre-show kind of busy business, right?
There was an usher in there who came to complain, and that was the day before this other one yelled at her. So she came to complain partway through while the snake was on the stage. Yeah. And she was told, "Well, it's okay. She's in my hands. She's not going anywhere. It's okay, Yeah. But she was very upset because she had an issue with snakes personally.
Oh, okay.
And then went and I guess told the other people at the venue, who got really mad about it.
Oh.
I thought this was going like, and then we opened the basket, no snake.
Oh.
No.
And then
No,
Samuel
no, no.
L. Jackson shows up, and the F-bombs start flying.
And that would have been a very different show. Yeah.
Do you have a snake story?
I
Jeff?
did work on snakes on a plane.
Really?
I was I lived in Vancouver, and I did some set deck, moving furniture. I'm sure you could move a lot of furniture and have probably.
Yeah.
We've moved furniture together.
There you go.
So, snakes on a plane. I was moving things around. One day I get out of my truck and I almost stepped on, probably only a couple, but they had the snakes' lunch laid out thawing in the sunlight on newspapers. And they were frozen rodents, mice and rats for the different size. And so there was the snake room. And you remember Fangoria magazine?
Yeah.
They had a cover of Fangoria magazine as somebody with a blistered face, and they're like, "Snake room, keep out."
Okay.
So this guy's like, "You want to go see the snakes?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, but they're all in drawers, and they were, and so the guy took me into the snake room. Didn't open any drawers, but I was looking, and then I remember seeing the signs. I was like, "Hey, the rap party!" Like, oh, I'm going to be best friends with Samuel L. Jackson. Apparently not a friendly guy. Anyway, I was a daily, which means that I wasn't part of the crew.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Dailies don't come to rap parties, you silly furniture mover." That's my snake story.
Did you know when I asked him if he had a theatrical snake story that he was going to have one?
No.
No. That's pretty good. Jeff just pulling everything out of the hat.
Well,
or out of the bandana.
I would like to
Pulling it out of the
defend
bandana.
the dick and fart jokes in my show.
Yeah.
Well,
I
there
got
we
dick
go.
and fart jokes.
See? Yeah.
I may not be ancient Greece, but
But dick and fart jokes.
But you
Randy
have
and Elizabeth.
wrestling and the same kind of. Look at that. They
Look at
are
that.
the same show.
Look at that. Yeah. Randy and Elizabeth, a savage
So crazy.
love story by the Macho Manitoban.
that is my impersonator character, and
Nice.
I'm launching a business. I would like to be your birthday party entertainer. Why get a Disney princess when you can have the Macho Man dropping big elbows?
Yeah.
On those Frozens. Frozen. Anyway, I also
Do you think you would be like a good alternative to Disney
I
princesses,
do.
or maybe
Yes.
a slightly different audience?
a slightly different audience,
Okay.
men over a certain age, men of a certain
Yeah.
vintage who remember Randy
Yeah.
Savage. So maybe not the Disney princess market, but the guys who are hiring Disney princesses for their daughters and nieces, they might appreciate a macho gram.
Okay. So the Disney princesses are over here, and all the 50-year-old guys are having the birthday with
Well,
you.
you remember the YMCA dance? People know that, right?
I do.
I got
Donald
a-
Trump does it all the time, doesn't he?
Let's bring everybody in for
Yeah, okay,
let's
okay.
not. I mean, yes, I still like the Village People. I don't want to
Yeah.
run away just because of that. Anyway, so I'm working on my own YMCA dance when I do the Macho Gram with the letters, and I do hope eventually to be an entertainment option for those people who are sick and tired of the Disney princesses. Randy Savage himself was a big charity worker. He loved the Special Olympics. He would go and give them out posters and other wrestling swag and goodies to all the participants. And he did Make-A-Wish work as well. So Randy was inducted in the Child Advocacy Hall of Fame with other luminaries such as Mr. Rogers and Malala Yousafzai. So the guy did have a heart of gold.
Nice.
Wow.
And I admire that about him.
So should people come to your show because it's touching or funny or both?
Both. I learned something from a theater luminary. Neil Harris was his name. And he's I think he might have taught my mom drama or something.
Oh.
Anyway, he said the three things you can do with an audience, should strive to do: make them laugh, make them cry, scare them. And if you can touch all those ranges of human emotion, then you really, they'll probably remember your show and have had an experience that they'll, will hopefully remind them what it's like to be human. So I always try to think about that. Whatever if it's something artistic, make them laugh, make them cry, scare them. And, there are some scary stories. Dressing up like Randy Savage over the years has almost resulted in physical injury. I think there are funny parts, where there's some of the locker room humor that these grown men participate in. That's where the dick and fart jokes happen. And, I hope that it's moving because there is a love story that it's not easy. It is savage. You know, the life that they live. I'm afraid to say that Randy's no longer with us. Elizabeth is no longer with us. And both of them partook in lifestyle choices, you know, whether it was steroids or other ways of, you know, they passed far too early. And I'm sorry that that happened. And people should watch out for steroids and designer drugs that, you know, can kill you.
Stay away from steroids, kids. Stay away from the roids.
Agreed.
So people should come to your show because you're going to scare them, you're going to make them cry, you're going to make them laugh, and they are going to be getting in on the ground floor of the whole Macho Manitoban experience.
Yeah,
Mania.
I hope that I hope that it's something that is embraced, and I will have a website eventually where you can go on there and say, I'll book a machogram, and then I'll show up with my silly costume and do my little macho man dance, and we'll have a laugh and post for some pictures. And that would be, you know, I have done a singing telegram as Randy Savage, but that was once upon a time for like some other company. I now just want to work for myself. You can understand that, Kelly?
Yeah,
You are an entrepreneur.
I get it. Oh, I never use that word because I feel like entrepreneur is always just like I just don't like the word. You know how there's words that are like fine, but you just don't like them? Because to me it seems like douchebags who are trying to just make money and not actually do anything. I know a lot of people that have used it improperly. Rod Bernouge, former MP, South Winnipeg. Anyway, well, that's good. You're still living your life out loud. You're doing it your way, like Frank Sinatra. Now you have done both things. You're doing it your way, but you know you've got family and a house and all that kind of stuff. How old are your kids?
Oh, my oldest is almost 20.
Wow.
Yep.
Does that seem right? Does that seem right, or does that seem like?
Well, I do have moments because my youngest is 14 now, and he'll, you know, like they're 5 years apart, and it's amazing to look at them sometimes and just go like, wow, they're both way taller than me. I'm the shortest person in my house for the first time ever. Like,
How tall are you? You're not short.
no, I'm 5'6". Although my mom says I'm short all the time, and my son thinks it's hilarious. But no, they're
How
both.
tall is she?
5'6".
Oh.
I know she can't tell that we're the same height.
Wow.
It's weird.
You'd think your eyes would be at the same place.
They are. I
Yeah.
know, but so my son thinks that's hilarious, but yeah, it's crazy to me that, you know, I've been a mom for 20 years. Sometimes you just look at them and I'm like, wow, how'd that happen? But yeah, it's
You
great.
ever get sick of it or no? You're still good?
No.
You're still going?
It's great.
You still got some juice?
It gets better as they get older
Oh.
because you can talk about so much more.
They get more like people.
Like toddlers are really, really trying,
Yeah.
but then, you know,
But they're
they start
terrible. They're terrible at everything.
well, they start to have conversations, and then you're like, yeah, now we can like really
Yeah.
connect, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, my oldest son is a college student. He's studying to become an electrician, and my youngest wants to be a chef, and it's just
That's
So-
smart.
it's pretty amazing.
And you're
Congratulations.
Yeah.
so but now your partner now your partner is a theater person. Do your kids? But your kids are going to go. They're going to go get real jobs and be real. Do they have creative impulses? They have things that they
Well-
like to do, music or art, or what do they think about your thing? They
I think, well, my youngest sort of channels most of his creativity into cooking, which is his real passion, and D&D. That's his big thing.
yeah.
So he does,
okay.
and he's very creative. He's quite the storyteller,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have any intention of turning that into anything more than a hobby.
Yeah. Well, that's probably smart. Trying to make your money, make your money playing D&D is, you know, possible
I've
maybe.
heard
but
it's possible,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not easy.
It's a low, very small number of people can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And how about your oldest?
Right now, he's not really into much.
Yeah.
He's very much to himself. So like he goes to school. He has started hanging out with his friends a little bit more in the last little while, but mainly I think the pandemic happened and he just sort of went into his bedroom and then he didn't come out for a while.
this
And now
is-
he's He's socializing again.
This is really interesting because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking. They were talking about Gen Z. I refuse to say Gen Z, but the Gen Zs,
Yeah.
and about how they were about how the pandemic happened for a lot of them at a very kind of a crucial time. And it was talking about it was a political podcast, and they were talking about these sort of how a lot of those people that age, how there's a crop of like right wing, MAGA type kids that are that age because because they were sort of because they were isolated for that time when it was a time when they should have been doing normal type things. And in the case, this was an American podcast, so they were talking about how Donald Trump had been like really, they had kind of never really known a world without Donald Trump. So it was a very interesting kind of a thing. But the thesis was sort of that that this isolation leads to kind of I don't even know if I want to call it a conservatism, but kind of this whole, the whole kind of the Andrew Tate, the podcast bros, this kind of all this sort of like gross online kind of culture that a lot of these young men, kind of, especially men, boys, kind of ended up sort of in that area because they didn't have that chance. They weren't interacting with people in that same way, and they at a time when they maybe could have been developing empathy a little bit better, they were left a little bit too much to themselves.
I'm seeing a lot of that with the younger, like teenagers, 13, 14 years old right now.
Because you teach, what age do you
I teach middle school.
Yeah.
So grade 7, grade 8.
Yeah.
Well, for this year, next year is different, but that's irrelevant.
You getting a
I'm moving into a high school.
You're
next
moving
year.
on up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this year, what I've noticed is the kids in grade 9 this year are a lot more, I guess, sort of self-centered and a lot less aware of other people's perspectives. And they're a lot less mature in their behavior and in their attitudes towards other people. And it seems like it's just sort of this spike.
Yeah.
And then this year's grade 8s are a little bit better.
Yeah.
7s are all sweethearts.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And for us, I mean, it was this kind of this global thing that we all experienced, but we were all adults already. So I mean, we didn't like it, and it caused various problems and whatever. But it didn't really. We were already grown, so it didn't really fuck us up in the same way. I was talking to a friend today about how also it did the same thing. Not the same thing, but it had also a negative kind of a social effect on seniors, because my mom, who's, like I said, is 95, when the pandemic hit, and you remember that time when like you weren't supposed to go anywhere and nobody was supposed to go, like, and my mom was like 90 or whatever, and so I was not a rule breaker, but that was a rule I broke because we were just like, well, we got to go take care of our mom. We can't, she was living in an apartment.
Yeah.
And we can't like just not.
Exactly.
But she, like, her mind, her brain was already starting to go, and it was kind of going like this. But then as soon as the pandemic hit, it just went way down because she was isolated. There was no interaction. She was watching, the Hallmark Channel and watching those movies. And if she couldn't figure out how her TV worked, she just sat there. Like, it just got worse and worse. And my friend that I saw today told me that his dad died not long after the pandemic ended because he was starting to lose his mental faculties, and being isolated made it so much worse. And he said I think my dad just willed himself to die, which is sad.
Yeah.
But it's
Same thing happened to my dad. He gave up on his blood transfusions. His wife died a year before, and then it was so hot out that in the summer.
When was this?
In 2020, he was 21, perhaps when he just at one point he's just like, oh, I just don't want to have my transfusions anymore. And part of it was after his wife died a little bit, there was, I think, a period where he was willing to go and maybe meet the other people in his senior home, and but there wasn't. They were like, no, you can't. You got to stay in your room. So, yeah, a lot of a lot of bad things over these last
In 2021,
6 years.
2021 was that summer when it was like 30 degrees.
Right. Yeah.
All day and all night
Yeah.
for about 4 months. Because I remember that because it was when we were wearing cloth masks, and I was working, moving people, because I never stopped working because people were still moving. And so I would wear a mask, and I remember that summer wearing a cloth mask, and I remember just having to take it off and just going, like, it was just so gross, and I was just dying like all summer. So not literally. So but I can see how how that would maybe.
I think people might want to take a look at Dr. Gabor Mate.
He's great, yeah.
Who has spoken about children and their psychology, and I probably would do him a disservice, but I think he's pretty worried about these generations because of things like social media and all that stuff. But I would defer to him, So, and of course, I follow his son, Aaron Mate.
Okay, yeah.
Who's a Canadian journalist, but in the States a lot. But Dr. Gabor Mate is, he thinks that we're all this stuff is turning them into self-centered people, like you suggested.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of his work. I have a little bit of an issue with his assertion that all developmental disorders are the result of trauma.
Those are the details I wouldn't know. I've heard him say some things that the stuff I have heard him say I kind of liked, but I wouldn't.
Well, this sort of we're wrapping up here, and this sort of segues into a thing that I was thinking about today, because I listen to a lot of podcasts because I'm so ADHD. I can't do my dishes or my laundry or anything unless I'm listening to something, because I forget what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, I'm listening to this, I'm doing this, and my brain is not like, oh, I better do this. But I was listening to one today, and they were talking about AI, and they were talking about what is that going to mean for us socially, and one thing was they were talking about how people are graduates, and this is in the States, but graduates are using AI to apply for hundreds of jobs, and then the employers are actually using AI to weed through the stuff. So nobody's actually talking to anybody. And I was thinking, what we're going to do here and what Fringe is all about, my thing that I like to say all the time, as you probably know, is art will save us all. And like these actual live spaces where we can actually get together and actually be with other human beings and do these creative things. Like, to me, with the way that things are going, like, to me, it's like so much more important than ever.
Live theater. It's wonderful.
Live theater. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. My guests have been Heather Forgie and Geoff Hughes. Their show's open on Thursday, July something.
17th.
Thursday, July 17th at 188 Princess, which is just around the corner from here and just around the corner from Old Market Square. So lots of great Fringe stuff. And we'll have more interviews and more folks coming by and all that. So tune into wherever you're watching this. Thank you so much for stopping by. Art will save us all.
Thank you.